VinMartin Obiora with Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, OON, the Archbishop of the Ecclesiastical Province of Enugu. You know, Enugu is like a rallying point of all the states in the southeast, be it Abia, Ebonyi, Anambra, or Imo. And today we have the pleasure of hosting a voice that keeps standing out. Is it the fight against corruption? Is it about the talk for restructuring? Is it about the talk for Nigerian unity? I'm talking about no other but His Grace, the Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, OON. Archbishop Chukwuma is the Archbishop of the Ecclesiastical Province of Enugu. And when you talk about the Ecclesiastical Province of Enugu, you're talking about Enugu and Ebonyi. He's also the Anglican Bishop of Enugu and the Chairman Christian Council of Nigeria Enugu State. And before now, Archbishop Chukwuma was Chairman of CAN, Southeast Nigeria. Your Grace, you're welcome to this special interview.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Merry Christmas and a happy season to you all.
Yes, Your Grace, the big issue is an accusation laid by the Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Richard Okorocha, that you are a card-carrying member of a political party in Nigeria. Now, when you talk, you don't talk as an objective person, you don't talk as an unbiased person, that you talk as a card-carrying member of a political party. And I ask, Your Grace, are you a card-carrying member of any political party in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. The answer is simply no. Because as far as I'm concerned, no political party in Nigeria will say that it has my name as a registered member. The unfortunate thing about Okorocha is that he has refused to understand the position of a religious leader, that we are the advocate of the masses and the conscience of the nation. Desmond Tutu in South Africa never belonged to any political party, but he fought for the survival and freedom of his people. And for me, as a bishop, this is my 28th year as a bishop in Nigeria. I'm an old bishop. I've worked in the West, I've worked in the North, and I'm in the East, and from this area. And so there's nothing at all that concerns Nigerians that I will not speak out. Because we are leaders and shepherds of people. And people are under the leadership of people in government. There are many things they are undergoing, like suffering, no salary, no employment, and I have to speak out to let the government know that people are not happy with what's happening. That does not mean, therefore, that I belong to a political party. What led to Okorocha saying that, or whoever is saying that on his behalf, is because I challenged him that he has not paid salaries. Again, pensioners are crying. Gratuities are not paid. And even the workforce in Imo State is absolutely nonsensical. Businessmen are crying. Shops are broken down. Nothing. I mean, you can't tell me you're doing something and where people are not happy. To the point you are even creating a commission or probably a ministry for happiness. Who is sad? All these things he has not addressed. He has left the issue and trying to address party or no party. That is not the issue. The issue, has he paid salaries? Has he paid pensioners? Has he paid gratuities? Every week there's party. There's molding of senators, molding of images of people, spending the people's money. And I'm challenging him, and I say, he should be called to caution. And I'm cautioning him. Because if it doesn't take time, I'm out to lead the church in Imo State for revolution. I will instigate the bishops to do that. And if it doesn't take time, he's going to see the worst of his time. The question is, the people are not happy. He should answer the question, not political party, not card carrier. I knew how he started from Jos. I was a bishop in Bauchi. What is his achievement?
No, but Okorocha says he has done so much, that he has done better than all the other governors in Imo State in the past put together.
I think people in Imo State should have are in a position to speak better. We speak, go to Imo State. Many of the roads are absolutely in a dilapidated situation. Okorocha is making noise for nothing. He's doing nothing, and I challenge him. I went to him by saying the other day, there's only like roads there. The Okigwe road that he said he was controlling to Angara, it's a disgrace for those things that are doing a sort of what you call double carriage. As far as I'm concerned, I challenge Okorocha. Let him tell us. It's not a matter of building and destroying structures in the capital. I see that building something. Go to the other parts of Imo State. Okorocha did nothing. Okorocha is not working. And I challenge him. Has he paid salaries? What has he done to the rural areas? I mean, he should be called back to his senses, and I challenge him. If the religious leaders in Imo State are not doing something, I'm saying right now, all religious leaders should speak out, and they should stop being complacent. There are members in Imo State that are suffering. And I'm out to speak because I belong to a state of collegiality of bishops. Right now, I'm even the chairman of the Joint Council of Bishops in the whole east of the Niger, of bishops of Anglican Communion. So whatever concerns Imo State concerns me, because we are the same. And of course, in Southeast, as patron of Southeast CAN chairman, as Southeast CAN, I'm a patron and a former chairman of Southeast. People come to complain to me here. If other bishops are not speaking and I'm speaking, does that mean that therefore that I'm a card carrier? I think he should respect himself and know that the bishops are the prophets of today. And I'm speaking to him that he should please see to the welfare of the workers in Imo State. That's all. And that is what he should address. Not card carrier like that. I'm not a registered member of any political party. If PDP is not doing well, I will attack them. If APC is not doing well, I'll attack them. If APCA is not doing well, I'll attack them. All I know is that we want good governance. And I mean it, that if Okorocha, the governor of Imo State, my very good friend, can show and can be able to show any evidence of my being registered to any political party, I will resign and then go into full politics. But if not, I need an apology for that.
You mean that?
Oh yes. If you can show any evidence that I'm a registered card member or card carrier of any political party, I bet you I will resign as a bishop. And I mean it. Let the whole nation know about it.
Okay. Okorocha has tried to justify. I mean, you said something about creation of a ministry of happiness. And he says it's very, very important in Nigeria today. What would you have against a ministry of happiness if that is going to help the well-being of the people?
Now, where is that ministry going to fit in the structure and ministry in the federal structure? Where is it going to fit in? Wherever or where in any of the states in Nigeria have you ever found any ministry called Ministry for Happiness? Then there should also be a ministry for sadness.
But Okorocha says he's a trailblazer, so he's starting something new.
Starting something, and who is occupying it? He's a self-centered man. I think he doesn't know what he's doing. What is Ministry of Happiness going to do? What happiness are you creating when you have destroyed the shops of the people? When you're not paying salaries? When you're not paying pensions and gratuity? When people are lavishing in abject poverty? And even crime is increasing in Imo State. Go and find out. There's high rate of crime in Imo State than any state in Southeast now. So what happiness are you creating with the Ministry of Happiness? I think it's an antithetical statement, and also and it's very much antithetical to the government he's running. And it's unacceptable. It's absurd and ultra-biased.
Okay, Your Grace, let's leave Okorocha for now.
Yes.
You know, you've been one Nigerian who's clearly said you are against corruption of any type in Nigeria.
That's right.
When you look at the job that APC and President Buhari are doing, do you think they're succeeding in the war against corruption?
Well, I have once said it, even in my write-ups, that corruption is not being fought in its entirety. And I've said to Mr. President, you cannot fight corruption cleanly and clearly in the midst of hunger, unemployment, and poverty. It's not possible. You have to address poverty, unemployment, hunger, crime, violence. When these things are addressed, corruption will go? Are you fighting corruption when a bag of rice is more than a minimum wage? Are you fighting corruption when people in the office are not regularly paid salaries? Are you fighting corruption when there's selective negligence? If anybody is a corrupt man and he has been found to be a thief, then he joins APC, then you circumvent him, and then you pursue those in other parties. Is that fighting corruption? And again, when people have been identified to be the people who are returning this money, which they have not told us who are these people, why have they not been arrested, prosecuted, and somebody like Innocent is being chased about? I mean, you can imagine that. Those you said you have collected a lot of money, you have recovered some funds from them. Who are these people? Where are they?
But the government, I mean, the federal government says they have no hand in the arrest of Innocent. And the FCC is saying that Innocent has been indicted in a certain criminal.
Listen, this is witch hunting. As far as I'm concerned, it's another way of witch hunting an Igbo man. As far as I'm concerned, that is not an issue. First of all, the EFCC should go and look at their acts and the ways for which and the limits of their powers. You don't come and arrest somebody in his house like a criminal. This is somebody whom the government gave national honors. You have honored this man for promoting industry in Nigeria. You have honored him for creating employment in Nigeria, and they want to destroy him. I mean, those people who are involved in criminal act and are embezzling money in government, what have you done to them? EFCC should go after them. Those people who are hiding in APC, what have you done against them? And because an Igbo man. Now see what has happened to GTB. They are denying that they are not hands-on on it. If somebody has a personal business transaction, and then you are coming as a government organization or probably to now arrest somebody, I mean, you are stepping out of more than your bounds. Or right now, as a bishop and a bishop now, you come and say you are going to arrest me because I have something to do with my church. What's your concern? Constitution has it there for them to deal with me anyway, or probably the bank has their ways of dealing with somebody who has anything to do with them. And when the case is in court, then the law should be allowed to have his way. But for them to jump because they are hungry and they want to be settled, I think EFCC should be very careful. Time has come that people have to let, and I'm saying it here, I'm not afraid of EFCC. EFCC should know their boundary, they are stepping their bounds. And if they don't take time, they will lose their relevance. They are doing a good job. I'm very much for fighting corruption. But it should be done with decency. You don't do this abroad. Human dignity and human rights should be respected. Even abroad, when the police is leading you away, they give you respect, they call respect. They don't come and carry you like a criminal. And then you want to destroy someone's personality. It's not fair. How many of those people who embezzled money and all, have they ever gone to those, even Lawan, and some other people who were caught with some of, have they ever gone to arrest them like that? Innocent, I think Assange should be handled with respect and with dignity. And we both are not happy the way he was handled. So as far as I'm concerned, corruption should be fought in the right way, decently, with sincerity, and with absolute dispatch without any selective negligence. That is my own. I'm against corruption. But it's not because somebody has now left the FCC. Look at, I'll give you an example in Enugu here. The former governor of Enugu State, Sullivan Chima, was invited by EFCC. He was found to be corrupt. But he has now jumped to EPC. They left him. You're after Chimaroke. Why should Chimaroke be the point of purchase? I mean, of chase, point of chase every time. The person who took off, you discovered him to be corrupt and you indicted him. Now he has joined APC. You now forget about him. And because Chimaroke is not a member of APC, you're after him. How about Jim Wobodo? He was indicted for getting money at this point, 500 million from from money from some, what do you call it, the security officer to share to people who are PDP stalwarts in the southeast. You indicted him, but now you join the APC, the case is closed, and so on and so forth. So I don't believe that this government is sincere in fighting corruption, and in its entirety, people are hungry. People are unemployed, people are frustrated. The change people are expecting is not what they are seeing. And so, people are no more sincere. And even the whistle blowing, you can see it's losing its value. because you are putting a sort of, will I say, a sort of reinforcement that if you do this, you do this. People are no more interested, and it's not working anymore. I think we should fear God and be sincere with whatever we are doing, and do it with absolute honesty and, let's say, equity and justice.
Your Grace, each time you speak,
yes,
you tend to talk about a kind of, I don't know whether this word should be the perfect word for it, marginalization,
yes,
probably of the Southeast,
yes,
or government going out of the way to ill-treat the people of the Southeast.
yes.
When you talk about things like this, a lot of Nigerians who are not from the Southeast worry about the, you know, where you're basing your analysis or the position you take. When you talk about this seeming marginalization or seeming maltreatment or ill-treatment of the Southeast, what are the issues for you?
Well, the issue is that I reside in Southeast, and as far as I'm concerned, Southeast must be protected. And as far as I'm concerned, the interest of my people in Southeast is my concern. In fact, the interest of Nigerians are my concern. I'm not saying probably the whole Southeast is the only people being marginalized or talking about marginalization. But the point is that the government of today must realize that this government is the government of the people for the people, democracy. And if I'm playing politics with selective negligence and with discrimination, it doesn't work. Now, I give you an example. Look at the police. Look at the army. Tell me who from Southeast is in the top rank. Most of our people in the top rank have been retired. Even in recruitment now, go and find out. The Southeast candidates are being marginalized. Even in immigration. Even in the Navy. Let them go and investigate how many Southeast people are being recruited now. They talk about the Executive Council. Tell me who is from Southeast. The Armed Forces Ruling Council or whatever.
The Federal Executive Council.
Yes, the Executive Council. Who among these people? Is it the SGF, which ought to go to Southeast? Is not given to a northerner? Thank God it's a Christian. The Vice President is from Southwest. The Chief of Staff is from the North. The President is from the North. The Secretary, what do you call it now? The Secretary of the Government, or what do you call it, is also from the West. And most of those people who are occupying top posts, and all the top military officers, including the IG, are from no one from the Southeast. And if you come again to the ministers, they will say they are occupying the major,
and they say juicy ministries.
And I've told people, I've told Mr. President that these people's appointment to ministerial posts does not translate into infrastructural development of the Southeast. It's to go now in
science and
technology. What is there? What is he going to take here? Or Gige, that we are actually to be chasing laborers. When there's a problem, Gige will come and mediate. What has he got to bring from? What has he got to bring from here? What is Tuesday there? Or is it industry? What has he got to bring from there? The things that we are talking about, and we still say, is that Southeast people are very intelligent. They deserve a better appointment than what I'm giving them today.
But, Your Grace, the Southeasterners before now occupied these positions: Secretary to Government, Finance Minister.
Yes.
What did individuals do with it?
Yes.
They are not going to remain there all forever and ever.
Yes, we had it and we missed it. We accept.
So why are you blaming for that?
We are blaming that even right now, at least some of these posts to be given to us. Yes, I agree that some of our posts that were being held by the Southeast people, they misused it, and that is why, again, that time I even blamed them that sometimes you don't blame Buhari for whatever happened now, because we are now in a different dispensation. What we would have gotten at that time was missed, because at that time, we talk about works, isn't it? The people who are in charge of the chairman of the National Assembly for Works, Southeast, the House of Rep, chairman of Works, Southeast, the farmer, Southeast, Minister of Finance, Southeast, and so on and so forth. But the question is, what did they use it for? They were just on their own self-centeredness and selfishness.
You forgot to also talk about the SGF.
Yes, the SGF too, the same thing. But again, at that particular time, yes, we missed it. But the question now is, for now, even though if we don't occupy all these positions, that does not mean, therefore, that we should be marginalized or not given some of these posts. We're not occupying any of these posts anymore. But again, I say, we are not saying the president has not tried enough to now change his mind. Because what he was saying that we do not vote for him Southeast, and because of that, he will not treat us as others. But I think, thank God, in the current budget, that Southeast is not remembered. Because what I'm saying, apart from appointments, the structural development of Southeast is very important. Now, Enugu Onitsha Express Road is now being given attention. Hopefully that they'll be honest with it. Enugu Port Harcourt Road, hopefully they'll be honest with it and do it well and strong.
But this is not the first time those roads are being.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I say. Honestly, I say honestly that they will be honest with it. If not honest with it, again, go back to square one. Money is being voted, but people again corruption. Even the person who was Minister of Works, from Edo State, nobody has called him to ask him what has happened to the money. Nobody has arrested that man. That man should be arrested. Yes, that man should be asked what has happened to the money for the works, for the roads that were awarded. Because if right now, even nothing is done, like we are trying to find out from Fashola now, if all the money that's being approved is not being used judiciously, it should be queried. Because that is when you have missed the mark. The corruption where comes when the minister and the contractors are palling together and not being honest in definitely carrying out what they should do. And the rain comes again, they say rainy season has stopped, and then they say variation upon variation. They are telling lies. That's where they collaborate. And government should open their eyes wide to know that these things are happening. We don't want these things to continue. But at the end of it, I think things are improving now, apart from moving on this marginalism. Even though you don't give us any post, but remember us for the federal allocation of things like making sure that more funds are given to development and presence of the federal government is made in our area. I mean, the people in the Senate are now trying to say, okay, federal polytechnic here, federal school there. Let them begin to talk and let federal government vote money for them. This country belongs to all of us. And that's why in this situation, time has come, we have to go back to restructuring. And that restructuring is what I say, because when the whole thing is centered in Abuja, it will not work. Before, when we have the regions, and the resources from each regions were being enhanced and harnessed to the development of the regions, was not what we used for even this University of Nigeria, Nsukka, through palm kernel. That of cocoa for the southwest, for Bafemi Awolowo University and so on, Cocoa House, and that of the north, Ahmadu Bello University and so on, most of them from granite. But today, when people are no more going back to think about what can you be able to produce from your various regions or zones, and we are depending on federal government, then there will be agitations, because these things are not properly distributed, particularly those in South-South, where you get the money from oil, and their areas are devastated. I traveled to the South-South area, Calabar, Port Harcourt, and all these areas, Bayelsa. It's a shame. The number of local governments in Bayelsa is lower than anywhere, and so the allocation for local governments is less than what you give some areas in the north. And these are things we have to look into. And that is why I'm saying that restructuring in this situation is not a dangerous thing. We must begin to think about it so that we can be able to have equitable distribution of resources.
But, you know, some people are saying that, yes, restructuring, how do we go about it? Some people say, okay, let's go back to the Jonathan conference.
Yes.
And look at what was submitted.
Yes.
The APC says, look, it wasn't representative enough. What would you recommend?
APC has nothing to say about that. The thing is not representative enough. Let them bring it out first. Look at it. If everything there is not what you can attend to, but there's some things reasonable there that you can attend to, which I feel we must not neglect. The National Assembly should call for it and then advise Mr. President on the things they should do about it. I don't think it's right to say that they are not having right representation on the enough. Why did they not talk at that particular time? It was well represented. People of timber and caliber.
No, but even then they were not. They said they were not. As a party, they didn't participate in it. Even though their state governors and governments had participated.
It was not true. It was not true. And as far as I'm concerned, okay, if that is the issue, therefore, then there should be a way for us now to have a referendum. The present governor should organize a referendum.
It's not in our constitution.
Yes, it's not in the constitution, but again, in a state of this type of agitation, even that national conference was not in our constitution. Was it in our constitution? National conference was not in our constitution. It's a matter of necessity.
Okay.
And when it's a matter of necessity, therefore, for peace to reign, you can't be talking about this, no more hate speech, no more this and that, and you are doing hate appointment, hate this, and hate relationship. There must be a necessity for which something has to be invented to create that atmosphere of peace. We want to live together. And that's why, again, I say the peaceful coexistence of this nation is negotiable. The unity of this nation is negotiable. To say it's not negotiable is not right. Because we have to negotiate. If you don't negotiate with me, I'm going to agitate. If you don't negotiate with me, then we don't live in peace. If you don't negotiate, then we continue to suspect each other. These are the things. We have to negotiate and find out, my brother, what is the problem? Why are you annoyed? Why are you feeling marginalized? And why are you feeling neglected? Or why are you feeling that I'm cheating you? We talk about that and negotiate, and then we now settle and find a way of where we can come to a round and a center agreement. That's what I'm saying about. We're not quarreling about anybody. We are all brothers and sisters. We have intermarried, we have interrelated. I have many Northerners who are my very good friends, who are Muslims. They haven't been the Bishop Bauchi before. Very nice people. And Igbos too. And most of the Northerners are here in Yorubas. For me, I have lived in 3 regions of Nigeria. I cannot at all disengage from being a friend of the Yoruba man or your Hausa man. They are very nice. But see that we must disagree to agree. Misunderstand to understand.
Okay, Your Grace, I mean, it's easy for those of us in the Southeast to say, oh, we're being marginalized. Yes, we need restructuring. We need this, we need that. And even some of our brothers have even gone to the extent of saying we want to secede. But let's come back to the Southeast. We just talked about Southeasterners occupying, very relevant positions where they could have, made a lot of impact in the infrastructure and well-being of the Southeast. Let's look at that again. Before, as they say, charity begins at home. Before going to place our problems with outsiders, what are we doing about the Southeast?
Thank you very much.
What are we doing about the people of the Southeast?
Well, as I said, I have lived in the West, I have lived in the North, and I always say the most difficult tribes and area in this country are the Igbos. The Easterners are the most difficult people to relate with. I would say we are people of Ekwe. We are very heady, we are very stubborn, we are very disloyal, and we are very disrespectful to each other. I'll give an example. When I was in Yoruba land, a Yoruba person will respect elders, and we lie down or kneel down to greet an elder. In the North, the same thing. The young ones respect their elders. In Igbo man, nobody respects anybody. The respect accorded to elders and people in high position in the North and Southwest, it's not the same we receive in the West. In the West, in the East, it's a matter of Onyekebo. Who are you? Do you feed me? Do I feed you? That's the language you will hear. And that is the cause of the problem. Because everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be a Oga. Nobody wants to be a servant. But we cannot all be leaders. We must agree that somebody must lead and others must be patient and obedient followers. As you have problem of leadership, you have problem of followership. Everywhere and more in the East. This is because, I don't know, since after the Civil War, we have lost many things that concerns our values. And we have refused to imbibe with ourselves that's due respect, fear of God, and value. It seems that we value money more than dignity and integrity. And that's where the problem comes. The day in the East we will put money aside, put material things aside, and talk about integrity, character, personality, and fear of God, then things will be better. Then it is then that we can talk and agree and stop betraying ourselves. I won't say more than that. But the thing there that we have a problem. And this problem, as I said, is both in our traditional circle, in the political circle, and also in the religious circle. Because we too, as religious leaders, we have our own problems. There's discrimination. I cannot rule that out. For me, as I'm concerned, I'm very much ecumenical. I can relate to the Roman Catholic person, Pentecostal, anybody, as much as we are calling the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. But let me start from ourselves. But with me, having that free mind, can those in other religions relate to us the way I'm relating to them? Then we talk about political parties. Somebody with job you have more of cross-carpeting in the East than in the other areas of our country. Why are we cross-carpeting too much in the East? Because of selfishness. Somebody is being made to be where you are by a political party. And tomorrow, because you feel you are too ambitious for something, tomorrow you jump away, you now want to join a ruling party. You forgot the party that made you. How can you be sincere to the interest of the people around? These are the issues. Okorocha, who is talking today, we are talking about, was made by Abga. And now he betrayed Abga. Ojukwu, through the sentiment of Ojukwu, he became the governor of Imo State. Now today, he even wanted Abga to be exterminated. Because he's now APC. And even in the APC he is today. What has he used the APC to do for the Igbos? Selfishness, self-centeredness. That's what you see all over the whole place. Our politicians also must begin to think about how do you come together to develop the Igbo land, the Southeast in the Igbo for that matter, than your own political interests and selfish interests. There are more sirens in the East than you have in the West or in the North.
Your Grace, a lot of people say you're being too hard on Okorocha, for instance.
Yes.
There are a number of other governors in the Southeast that their people, those they rule, say they're not doing well. And they say they've not heard you talk about these other governors.
Which governors? Which governors are the governors? Look, listen to me. As far as I'm concerned, I relate to all the governors in the whole of Southeast. None of them is out of their head than Okorocha. And I speak to all of them one by one. I'm in touch with all of them. If you're not doing well, I tell you you're not doing well. Okay, if you talk about that, in Enugu State, the governor is paying salaries. In Ebonyi State, they are paying salaries. In Abia State is another problem that I know, but not as much as Imo State. Then the worst is Imo State. Tell me which other governors. And many of them as they are, none of them is arrogant as this man. None of them is so much outrageous in spending than this man. The man is not behaving like an Igbo man. And people call him Okoro Hausa. I knew him when he was in Jos. We grew from selling a car to Kuba. I was in Bauchi as bishop. He was nobody when I was a bishop 28 years ago. Okorocha was nobody. So as I'm concerned, I feel that starting from a humble state, he should not use the government resources to be able to blow himself up.
But Your Grace, at what point did we have this point of departure between you and Okorocha? Because walking into your office, for instance,
yes,
and of course our viewers, I'm sure, will be seeing it now.
Yes.
As there's this picture of you and Okorocha. So at what point did this yummy relationship? At what point
we have never yummied, and Okorocha will not say I've ever collected any cover from him or begged him for any money. I don't beg money from politicians. The thing is that the concern of the people is what has made us to depart. Because he has, look, if Okorocha, and we have talked to him many times, do you know that it's not even related to any of our bishops in Imo State? Even with our Bishop Obinna, who supported him to come to that post. He's not in relationship with him. He's out of relationship with every religious leader in Imo State. And tell me how that can continue. He doesn't regard anybody. The problem is that if you have regard for church leaders, we have regard for you. Most of these other governors have regard for us, not because of anything. We represent God. Respect begins respect, but when you don't respect us and you think that we are nobody, then we tell you are nobody too. But
is it just because he doesn't respect
you? No. The thing that when the religious leaders talk to him and speak to him, he doesn't respect them. He doesn't take what they say. Even right now today, I have phoned some bishops and said, "What are you people doing?" He said, "This man doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. He doesn't even read fire. He doesn't read. Okorocha does not read fire. Let me tell you this. I challenge him. All the files in his office, how many times has he devoted time to read? Today is in Abuja. Tomorrow is in Sokoto. Tomorrow is everywhere. Does he have time to read files? Even the chief judge that is now, he spent money for the House of Assembly to put the person there. I mean, what type of nonsense are we talking about? When you have to spend so much money to put somebody as a chief judge of your state, bribing the members of the House of Assembly, and you have openly to say, after I know how much I spent to put you there.
Do you have evidence of what you're saying?
Oh, ask Imo State people. Let me tell you, I'm a religious political mafia. Let everybody know that. I'm out to defend the people and to be advocate of the people. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have any skeleton in my cupboard. But the concerns of the people is my own. I don't want to know which political party you belong to. But you must be fair in your governance. And you must be honest in your governance.
I'm interested in this religious political mafia.
Oh yes.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, good. Now, you see, as the government have their own strategy and also have their own, let's say, network
of gathering information.
Yes. A good religious leader must be able to have that. So that if you are informative and you are very much in tune, look, I'm a news addict. And I am current both national and international. So when I speak with authority and I speak with evidence. That's my own. Because you don't just speak anyhow. The thing is that I gather information and I authenticate the evidence from the area I collect my information. So when I speak, if you want me to produce it, I'll let you know. So this is the thing. So the thing is that when you don't just begin to speak without, go to Imo State and find out. Go to every state and find out. We move around. And as I told you, in the whole of Southeast right now, I'm the most senior bishop by consecration as far as bishops are concerned in the Anglican Communion. And I'm now the chairman of the Joint Council of the Dioceses in the East, covering both Southeast and up to Port Harcourt. So hence, when a bishop has a problem in any of his dioceses, it comes to Joint Council, of which I'm now the chairman. Shouldn't I be concerned about it? Shouldn't I know about it and talk about it? These are the issues. Gone are the days when people would think that it doesn't concern me. Business as usual. No. The church must be a revolutionary point, an agent.
Your Grace, I've heard some people say that when everything is good between you and a political leader, maybe a governor, and he's taking care of your needs and all that, he does no wrong.
No.
And when there's a governor, a political leader who is not, doing all those for you, then you start picking
what. Listen. What does any governor or any political person do for me? Ask my members. Nothing. Do you know, as I'm here in Enugu, I don't have a single plot of land. Go and find out. I don't have a single plot of land. Go and check my account. How much is there? Any money I get from people, I use it for charity. And I don't go about begging politicians for money. So there's nobody who tell me because it's too expensive. No, I create a relationship with you and me, between you and I. But if you don't do well, I either come privately to talk to you. If you don't listen, I will blow it up.
Actually, I was going to ask.
Yes.
Have you had a private audience with Okorocha, for instance?
Does he create the avenue for that? Does he create? If he knew and he knows, I expect him to say, Bishop, Can I have audience with you? I will come and see you. I'm going to tell him I want to see you. Okay, I'll give you appointment. Has ever given? Even with the bishops in the Imo State, has ever given them appointment? If you don't give us appointment, don't allow us to see you, then we'll talk and then we'll create a venue where we can talk. This is the issue. Ask if any bishop, even from the East, even the bishop who is Cyril Okorocha, who is there in Owerri, do you know he doesn't have any relationship with any good relationship with Okorocha himself, who is the governor? This is the issue, none of the bishops.
Okay, Your Grace, let's look at the Southeast.
Yes.
I mean, what would be your recommendation? I mean, you have access to all these governors. What would be your recommendation for a greater Southeast unity? You know, we've had these opportunities of what they call the Southeast economic this, economic that. What would be your suggestion for a collaboration where the issues of the Southeast, including infrastructural development, can be jointly tackled by the governors and leaders of the Southeast?
Well, the things that we thank God for the Ohanese Ndigbo now, led by Nyanwodo. If they are serious with the present leadership of Ohanese Ndigbo, it's a very great, good avenue. Just to have like the Arewas, the Afeniferis. There's a forum for which leaders, political, can come together and then be able to agree. But when you have an Igbo land where Ohanese Ndigbo is there are other factions again there. It's a problem. But if everybody can organize and agree to come under Ohanese Ndigbo, all the fragments of other areas coming Ohanese Ndigbo, it will be a very good forum. We also as religious leaders are also connected to be a good forum. If others fail, I think time has come and God give me the grace. If other religious leaders will agree, we can also call most of these people. Let us come and reason together, the Bible says, and see how we can help you people, prayerfully and otherwise, to help our people who are there. Because as far as I'm concerned, I find that when the people lose vision, my people perish because they lost vision. When the society loses vision and people in government lose vision, the church should intervene. When human connection fails, divine intervention must take over. So we as a church leader, as church leaders, also find a way to come together. And I'm trying to make something to happen, even from starting from any good state from next year, if the religious leaders will agree. All people appointed to political posts to represent the constituencies, we will call them to go and give us account in the church. Because there are some of them who are also presenting us various areas that are not giving account to anybody, whether House of Rep or Senate, or even House of Assembly, or councillors or chairmen. But they're representing us. The church should be able to say, Mr. Man, come and give us accounts. But sometimes even when you invite them to synods, they don't come. But time is going to come because, thank God, next year is a year before election. We will catch them. So I think we'll catch them. And when they come, we know how. Listen, it has come to church. It has come to time when the church must become an agent of revolution and change. Our Lord Jesus Christ came to change and revolutionize a lot of things. He was a great social action man, and that the church leaders must be, and that is my target.
But some of your colleagues don't agree with you,
That's
your
what?
style. For them, they can only say whatever they need to say in the church.
Complacency.
They think that some of you are too political.
Complacency and timidity. Look, the Bible has said He has not given us the spirit of timidity or fear, but of boldness and sound mind. Unless you have skeleton in your cupboard, why should you not come out and speak as you just that? Just like the prophets of old, thus says the Lord. God will ask of each of us on the last day. I won't want to perish with anybody. I won't want to go to hell with anybody because I refuse to speak out. The thing problem is that our religious leaders, most of them, I pity them. Many of them, with situation, many of them are hungry. Many of them also poverty is giving them problem. But for me, I'm not a hungry man, and by God's grace, I don't depend on politicians to survive. I have friends, I have relations who are really with me in my vision. That with them and God's support, sincerely, that I don't seek for myself. And I'm telling you here, go and find out how many houses have I got in Nigeria or abroad. I don't have. This is my 28th year as a bishop. Why should I stop speaking because of what I get for people or what I will get? The day I will die, I'll be buried in the church compound. And all I'm out for, that I've remembered for what I have been able to do and achieve for humanity. Because nobody's going to ask how many houses, how many cars, how many children you have. And if you have that in mind, therefore, like the prophets of old, we should be able to speak out and speak, because that is what the Lord has sent us to do. So if they don't agree, that shouldn't deter me from speaking. But I'm calling them, let them out, let them be bold enough to come. Not only, it's not like the one voice crying in the wilderness. Only one voice in the wilderness also made impact. John the Baptist. So I am calling all of my brothers and all church leaders in Southeast and Nigeria. When Okoje was there and was speaking sometime, they thought he was mad. Now since Okoje stopped, Kuka is there. Kuka, I thank them for people like Kuka. Chukwuma and myself were invited to speak at the Southern senators at Calabar. And we know what we said and what we told them. I mean, this is the issue. People should be bold to speak out their mind. And we should speak out and let people know that, look, things are going bad. And I'm not antagonistic, I'm not cantankerous. I'm not criticizing anybody, but I'm saying, let things be done aright. People come suffering. These members are members who come to the church with agony. We counsel them. But the thing that we say, but Bishop, Archbishop, what are you doing to talk to these people? They ask us. And what we tell them? We must be to let them know that there is hope for tomorrow by the way we speak to people and speak to the conscience of those in society and the positions for them to change. And it is when we speak through the power of the Holy Spirit that they be convicted of their sins, convinced of their sins, and converted from their sins. These are the things we are doing about.
Your Grace, you know, you've talked about unity in the church, being at home with people of other denominations, people of other religions. How can we, using the church and using the position of people like you, you know, to deepen religious unity in the country? Because, you know, oftentimes you see that some problems, besides being political, are religiously engineered.
Well, I must tell you, with my experience, both in study and practicality, everything depends on individuals, your conviction, and also your belief. We are all creatures of God, and being creatures of God, therefore, we should understand that we must coexist irrespective of whatever religion we have. And that is where I also, in the study, when we talk about dialogue, dialogue is voluntarily, and you must be free in dialogue, and there's no fear in dialogue. Now, for a Muslim, let's start with Muslim and Christians. They should be the best friends ever in the world. Because if you study Islam, our comparative religion, you find that Christians and Muslims were the closest people. They call them Al-Kitab, people of the book. These are the closest people who were very much against idol worshipping. The founder of Islam was against idol worshipping. Before he now decided to say, when he saw the people, the Jews, and people worship the only Yahweh, and he felt that this is the only way you can worship God, and God gave him a vision for which he went on a certain sacred separation of himself, retreat, to have that voice, Ikra, recite, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, which means there is no other God but one God, and Muhammad is his prophet. And that led to his persecution, for which he now ran to Abyssinia. And the people he met there that gave him sojourn were the Christians, who he called the Al-Kitab, people of the same book. And if you look at the Quran and the Bible, you see some of the similarities. So why should we be enemies of ourselves? And Christians and Muslims should be, if you go to the West, very good. Christians, you say family, Christian, Muslims, they eat together, they sleep together. When I was in North as bishop, the Muslims, when they're celebrating their own festival, I give them gifts. And Christmas, they give me gifts. We get nothing. When we get to heaven, God will judge. But don't force anybody into your religion. That is where that one comes. Don't be sentimental in distribution of things or appointments. Today in Nigeria, why we have problems that when somebody is in the post and you are a Christian or Muslim, you are too sentimental about your people than the others. And that causes problems. But because among Christians themselves, problems of denominationalism. Some people feel they are more spiritual than others. The worst of it is our brothers who are in the Roman Catholic Church. They don't want to relate much with other churches. Thank God we Anglicans are closer, because even in Rome we have the Anglo-Catholics, we have the Anglican, you call it Archic, we have the Anglican Center in Rome, and we have most of our religions together more than other churches. Again, you have some other churches now where they have so much proliferation. People have founded their own churches because of charismatism, and many of them don't have even basis of leadership, and that's another problem, causing problems. And even what you call the oracle people are already in the church, so it makes it difficult. So
what do you mean the oracle people?
Oh, you talk about Dibia, you talk about people the people who do this oracle, and people who are about the witchcrafts. They are in the church now.
Fortune
tellers and all this. So it makes it difficult, and they're confusing the issue. You don't even know which one is the genuine Christian or Christianity, or the one that's the fake Christianity. And because of the hardship of the people, many people are being deceived because of visions and prophecies that are not even true. And many of the politicians are victims. When people come and say Ijebego, and say that they see vision about you. I have a quarrel with the last one about Hannah. I said, Mr. You're not going anywhere. And I said, don't waste your money.
Which one?
I won't tell you, but I said, don't waste your money. That person is going nowhere. But the person who said you are going somewhere, they gave that person 100 million. Who says a man of God? And the person who gave one says, the person he professor will win, failed. But me, I will tell you, you won't go anywhere, my friend, Mr. Man. Don't give me money, don't waste your money. I become a bad man. These are the issues where...
So how would you say a thing like that? Do you see visions? Are you a prophet?
Look, you must be mathematical, prophetic, and also very much connected to the feelings of the people.
Okay.
When you have these ideas, you know where you're going. I don't begin to tell people lies because of money. You bring money to me. I am in any way, people bring and say, pray for us. I say, I'm not a prayer contractor. Now what you are going nowhere, waste no money. And if you don't listen to me, you lose. Later you come and say, Abodima, that you will have listened to me. But this is the issue. But some people will just take the money and say, hey, Excellency, even when it's not excellent at all, you say, Excellency, God bless you. It's a lie. They must listen to the truth and listen to the pulse of the people and what's around. And that is where money politics must cease. So our people again here, because of money, the church has lost its value. People no more respect the men of God because we have become stooge and we become more or less nothing in their hands. And I refuse to worship anybody because of money. I will not worship because of money. I will not. As far as I'm concerned, power belongs to God. And once all the religions have don't know that, we know that power belongs to God, and we will not worship anybody because of money, then we can talk together and speak to them with one voice, strongly and against evil. That is where I stand. So the thing that we must know who you are and what you believe in, and then begin now to think about what we can do to really allow the will of God and the mind of God to be made known in society we belong, and they speak the truth and let the truth set us free. So I'm appealing that our religious leaders, let us come together and salvage our people. Our people are in the hands of the enemy and devil, and in the hand of satanic oppression. And especially when we come together, united with one voice and with one mind, irrespective of our denominations, prayerfully, we can deliver our people and then set them free from the present oppression.
Okay, Your Grace, you know, always an exciting time talking with you.
Thank you.
But on a final note,
yes,
how can we achieve this Nigeria that you've kind of given us a vision about? How can we achieve this Nigeria where equity and fairness will prevail? How can we achieve a Nigeria where political leaders see themselves as servants and not rulers? And how can we achieve this future Nigeria where we are told that everything will work?
Well, we are talking about Nigerianness. The way to achieve the Nigeria talking about is number one, fear of God. 2, sacrifice. 3, selflessness. 4, hard work. 5, respecting value system and knowing that money is not everything. Again, ready to serve and not to serve, committed to service, ready to give to your country and not what your country can give to you. Determined that the legacy you will leave behind matters, not the accumulation of wealth you gather where you are positioned. If you have all this in mind, Nigeria will be a better place. And finally, love for one another, concern for one another, eschewing envy, jealousy, eschewing evil mind, thought against one another, and eschewing oppression. Don't oppress people with what you have. And also being contented. Contentment is very much, it's of great gain. No? Fear of God and contentment, godliness and contentment. Once it is paramount in your mind, you will know that whatever position you occupy, that you are going to give account of it to Almighty God. Because whether I like it or not, each of us shall give account of our stewardship, even me as a bishop and archbishop. And mine is going to be worse. But if you don't bear that in mind, you do things with impunity. You do things as if to say Nigeria belongs to you or a state belongs to you because you are there today. Tomorrow you will not be there. And it's happening. People are there today, tomorrow are not there. Your picture is up today, tomorrow you come down. If you realize that the mark you make, the legacy you leave, and the things you do that people remember for tomorrow will be the legacy people remember you for, then you will therefore be very careful, and then you think about a Nigeria that all of us can be proud of. And then equity and justice will prevail, and there will be no corruption in this country, and there will be fairness. So once you bear that in mind, the Nigeria we're talking about will be very much achieved if we all agree that we shall leave this world one day and give account to our Maker.
Your Grace, I think that will be a beautiful place to leave this interview. I must thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your forthrightness each time I speak with you makes me come back and come back and come back.
Thank you.
Thanks.
God bless you and God bless Nigeria. Continue good work.
And I've been speaking with Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, OON, the Archbishop of the Ecclesiastical Province of Enugu. I am VinMartin, Obiora, Ilo. Thanks for watching.